The Stupidity Paradox, Dietrich Bonhoeffer on Human Folly, Wickedness, and Society's Blindness. The real threat to humanity. What if I told you that stupidity, not evil, is the greatest threat to humanity? And worse, it's completely immune to logic. This isn't just a philosophical musing, it's a reality that has shaped history, destroyed civilizations, and continues to plague our modern world. While we often fear evil as the great enemy of progress, theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity is far more dangerous, not just because it enables evil, but because it renders logic, reason, and truth powerless. Today we're diving deep into the stupidity paradox, exploring why stupidity is more dangerous than evil, how it spreads like a disease, how history has been shaped by foolishness, and most importantly, what we can do to resist it. Buckle up, because this is going to change the way you see the world. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a German theologian and anti-Nazi dissident, lived through one of the darkest periods in history, Nazi Germany. He saw firsthand how propaganda, blind loyalty, and unquestioning obedience turned an entire nation into willing participants in atrocities. And through it all, he realized something profound. Evil, while destructive, is at least logical. You can understand its motives, predict its actions, and even counter it with reason. But stupidity? Stupidity is a different beast altogether. It's irrational, unpredictable, and utterly immune to facts. Here's the terrifying part. Stupid people don't even realize they're being manipulated. Think about history's greatest tragedies: dictators rising to power, genocides, economic collapses. Were these masterminded by geniuses? No, they were enabled by masses of people who simply refused to think critically. The Nazis weren't just evil, they were stunningly successful in using mass stupidity as a weapon. Millions accepted horrific lies, not because they were logical, but because they were simple and emotionally satisfying. Throughout history, oppressive regimes have relied on ignorance to keep power, whether it was the Roman emperors distracting the masses with gladiator games or modern leaders weaponizing misinformation. Stupidity is the fertile soil in which evil takes root and grows. Have you ever noticed that the more powerful some people become, the less they seem to question their own actions? This is no coincidence. Bonhoeffer observed that stupidity thrives in positions of power. Why? Because power isolates people from criticism. Once someone reaches a certain level of authority, they stop needing to justify their decisions. The more insulated they become, the less they think critically. History is full of leaders making bizarre and catastrophic decisions. The Chinese emperor who burned his navy. In the 15th century, the Ming dynasty had the most powerful naval fleet in the world. But Emperor Zhudi's successors, fearing foreign influence, burned the entire fleet, crippling China's global power for centuries. The 17th century French cure for plague. During a plague outbreak, the French monarchy suggested that burning toads alive and inhaling the smoke would prevent infection. Spoiler: it didn't work. Modern leaders and conspiracies. Even today, we see world leaders make policy decisions based on superstition, misinformation, and outright denial of reality. This is why stupidity in positions of power is so dangerous. It leads to systemic failure. Have you ever tried to argue with someone who refuses to change their mind, no matter how much evidence you present? The Earth is flat. 5G causes mind control. The government is hiding time travel technology. No matter how absurd a belief is, if someone holds it with blind conviction, facts won't change their mind. This was perfectly illustrated over 450 years ago in a famous painting called Netherlandish Proverbs. this 16th century artwork is packed with depictions of foolish behavior, such as a man banging his head against a brick wall, representing the futility of arguing with someone who refuses to listen, a woman shearing a sheep too much, symbolizing greed or short-sighted decisions that backfire, a person trying to catch an eel with their bare hands, a metaphor for foolishly chasing something they can never grasp. Even in the 1500s, people understood that human folly was timeless. The only difference now? Stupidity is amplified by social media and the internet. Stupidity isn't just an individual flaw, it's a social disease. It spreads like a virus, infecting entire communities and nations. The Dunning-Kruger effect. This psychological phenomenon explains why the least knowledgeable people often have the most confidence. They don't know enough to realize they're wrong. Echo chambers and social media. The internet has created bubbles where people reinforce their own ignorance. Once stupidity takes hold, even smart people can get sucked in. Think about how misinformation spreads. A fake news article claims a ridiculous conspiracy. People share it because it feels true. The lie spreads faster than the correction. Eventually, the false belief becomes mainstream. As Voltaire once said, "Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities." So, can we fix this problem? Unfortunately, stupidity is incredibly resistant to logic. Bonhoeffer argued that stupidity isn't just a lack of intelligence, it's a lack of critical thinking. And you can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. But there is hope. Here's how we fight back. Teach critical thinking. Encourage people to analyze information instead of blindly accepting it. Challenge your own beliefs. If you never question your own ideas, you might be part of the problem. Refuse to engage in useless arguments. Instead of arguing with the willfully ignorant, focus on those who are willing to learn. The fight against stupidity starts with you. So, what's the takeaway? Stay curious, question everything, and most importantly, don't be the person banging their head against the wall. We can't eliminate stupidity, but we can reduce its influence by promoting independent thought, encouraging skepticism, and refusing to let ignorance go unchallenged. As Bonhoeffer warned, the ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world it leaves to its children. That choice is ours. Your next step. If this made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The fight against stupidity starts one mind at a time. What do you think? Is stupidity truly more dangerous than evil? Let's discuss in the comments. If you found this video thought-provoking, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Unveiled for more content that challenges the way you see the world. Remember, the fight against stupidity starts with you. Stay sharp, stay curious, and never stop questioning. The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world it leaves to its children. Dietrich Bonhoeffer.